You can now get a 30-day trial to experience The Athletic for free. Visit the link in the description below to try it now.
Hello and welcome to Tifo IRL. Today we're going to talk about whether Erling brought Haaland and Kylian Mbappe could play together at Real Madrid. So this is Real Madrid's current probable first team. As it stands, you've got Vinicius Jr. out here on the left, Karim Benzema, who's having a fabulous season again up front. Asensio, sometimes it's Rodrigo on the right-hand side. But all of this could look very different after this summer because Kylian Mbappe out of contract at PSG, Erling brought Haaland subject to a transfer release clause probably at Borussia Dortmund, who have also had a pretty turgid season. That means he's likely to leave, and Real Madrid are still a kind of gold standard for footballers. Obviously, although La Liga has suffered financially with what's happened in the pandemic and so on, everybody wants to play for Real Madrid at some point. But can these two players play together? Let's have a look at a possible way that they could very easily and obviously. Unfortunately, Karim Benzema, you're going to get benched for the time being because Haaland will start up front here, and instead of Asensio on the right, let's put Mbappe there. Now, this is a pretty obvious way that these guys could work together. There are caveats here. Obviously, Kylian Mbappe is quite used to playing currently off the left-hand side at PSG. That's partly to accommodate Lionel Messi on the right-hand side, but he can also play through the centre. That happens often with Neymar out on the left. But basically, where you're tending to see Mbappe is this sort of part of the pitch. Now here, you've got Vinicius Jr. and Haaland playing through the centre. Clearly, there's a kind of issue there where you're not going to play Mbappe in that same position. Vinicius Jr. exceptional at cutting in off this side, firing shots in here, getting to the byline, dragging crosses back. And Real Madrid are going to be loath to lose that kind of thing. It's also worth noting that Haaland has this tendency to drift across to the left-hand side and play in this kind of area. He likes to get in, make these runs in behind. And so it's very important to leave the space for him to be able to do that. Fortunately, there's a couple of things about Mbappe that make this work. So obviously, he's extremely fast, right? And he would work as an orthodox winger, getting round to this side and pulling things back. However, he's also a very, very good finisher. But because he started life as a winger, attacking in from this sort of angle, he's actually really, really good at finishing with his right foot. Either, let's get some arrows in here, either across a goalkeeper like this, no, like that, into the far corner, or hitting it really, really hard, Mbappe is not playing ball, really, really hard near post and getting very, very clever finishes that way. You can, in fact, as well see from a recent goal he scored against Saint-Etienne, where he was playing through the centre, but he comes right round to the right-hand side here. There's some clever link-up play. He initially wins back possession. And then he makes a little run through here to receive a pass from somebody and fires a shot that basically goes through the goalkeeper. So if you stick him out here on the right wing, you're not going to lose that finishing ability. What you can do is stretch defences. You can have him take players on one-on-one. You utilise that pace. But it still creates space for Haaland here to attack through this sort of left half space, left side of the goal, and for Vinicius Jr. to come inside. Now, there are other ways that they could play. Not necessarily as likely, but let's have a quick run through them. The first thing to say is that currently Real Madrid are playing mostly in a 4-3-3, but if we take Luka Modric off here, we could see Karim Benzema, who is a really, really effective playmaker, line up in something that looks more like a 4-2-3-1. You still get all of the benefits here that we've discussed with Mbappe attacking through the right-hand side, Vinicius Jr. cutting in, Haaland making these devastating runs like this. But behind them all is Benzema acting as a playmaker, a string puller. It takes a little bit away from his physical demands in the game as well, and that's probably quite sensible. And also he can join the line here if Real Madrid are really attacking, getting lots of bodies forwards. He can join the line as a second striker with Casemiro and Cruz kind of holding the fort. That works even better if we bring in Camavinga here as well, because Camavinga also likes to make little darty runs up here into the right half space. So all of a sudden, you've actually got a situation that looks, if we get these fullbacks forwards as well, quite kind of familiar, where you've got a sort of holding three here. The wing backs are providing width and support here, particularly Mendy on the right-hand side. Carvajal can tuck in a little bit. And all of a sudden, you've got quite an orthodox looking kind of 2-3-5 attacking formation, where all of these players are somewhere that they can do something really dangerous. There is also potentially another way that it could work, and that's if we swap these guys here. Again here, we're maximizing the opportunity of these players creating an overload on this side, but by drawing players across here, because all of them like to cluster in this left half space, you've got space for Camavinga to push up and attack here, and Vinicius Jr. can perform the Mbappe role by going round the back like this, and also cropping up in dangerous areas. So there are plenty of options here. Haaland and Mbappe, yes, they're both strikers. They both work together in a similar kind of part of the pitch currently, but there are plenty of solutions. I think the key point here is that if Real Madrid have the opportunity to sign both of these players, it would be lunacy not to. Now, we have seen at PSG how bringing together Neymar and Mbappe and Messi creates tactical problems, but part of those problems are defensive. Neymar's work ethic, Lionel Messi's pressing, that kind of thing. Here you've got much younger players, they're much more physically capable, they're much better at pressing. That would allow Real to press really, really high, like I say, potentially even take some of the work off Benzema. And I think in that respect, these are players who are going to dovetail quite neatly. Also, from a commercial perspective, you have the two best footballers in the world going forwards for probably as much as the next decade, both wearing the white of Real Madrid. So from their perspective, from a commercial sense, that also makes a lot of sense too. So that's been whether Erling Haaland and Kylian Mbappe can play together at Real Madrid. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, stick comments below, and also keep an eye out for questions from the Tifo Football Show, because there'll be lots more of those coming soon too. Thanks very much.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. The Athletic brings you the best sports journalism in the world in a personalised experience, connecting you with the stories and teams that you care about the most. There's coverage of 13 sports, plus direct access to world-class journalists through live Q&As, discussions and podcasts. Not to mention, it's all ad-free. And you can try it now for free for 30 days by clicking the link in the description.